Welcome to my in-depth dive on the high-level adjustments made over the course of the 12-round fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. Now, this is quite clearly one of the best fights that we've been treated to as boxing fans in a long, long time. I thought it had just the right amount of precision, countering, action. I mean, really everything you could want from a high-level boxing match. It's not to say it didn't get wild by the end, but it was a good type of wild. Not the type of wild that you'd see from a Jake Paul fight, not the type of wild you'd see from one of these influencer boxing events, but I'm talking about rounds 10 through 12 being who wants it more, with both men landing big shots. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But the build-up, the fight itself, I mean, everything was just absolutely perfect, and I want to talk about it. So let's start off in rounds 1 and 2. A lot of these first rounds, Ben starts off really aggressive, moving his head off the center line a lot, and in return, Eubank makes a great adjustment. He starts establishing his jab and that check hook that he lands over the course of the entire fight. And that jab that he starts to establish early only becomes more prevalent, showcasing what I believe to be high-level boxing at its finest. He's looking for that check hook. He's looking for that jab, anything he can do to get Ben out of his rhythm. Because I think Eubank has a pretty clear idea, even from the first couple of rounds, maybe rounds 1 through 4, let's just say, that Ben, at least early, as the fight goes on, he kind of gets gassed a little bit, but early has the athleticism advantage. It's quite clear. See, Ben is changing levels, exploding in a lot with big shots. I notice he likes to go to the jab and then the cross, a big looping cross down the middle as he kind of fades away from the center line. But what makes this fight so good early is that Ben then makes the read that Eubank is making the original read and then starts feinting the level change to get into the pocket and start drawing out shots from Eubank. So it's this entire chess game early on in this fight. And again, we talked about it. It gets more wild later on, but it's this crazy chess match early that you're really treated to. It's a treat to watch this as a fan. Because not only are both of these guys super duper talented, they're also athletic. And again, yeah, these are guys with great boxing brains. Ben even starts pairing things behind his jab after that. He uses his explosiveness to get inside, and from there, he's setting up combinations. It's awesome to see. Eubank Jr. again early makes a read where as Ben comes in, he knows he wants to set and explode, so he'll tie him up and peppers his body with shots away from the field of view from the ref. I saw a point in the fight, and I couldn't really hear the ref's audio where it sounded like he had warned both fighters about maybe it was shots to the back of the head in the clinch, or it was excessive shots in the clinch. But Eubank, over the entire course of the fight, it seemed like early, and then even more so later on, was using that to his advantage. And towards round 3, even starts working his jab more, and in between combinations from Ben, which stifles Ben's offense and his timing. These are all reads that Eubank is making early in the fight that undoubtedly changed the course of said fight. I will give Ben credit where credit is due. One of the shots in round 3 looks like it really hurt Eubank Jr., but I think one of the things that was hurting Ben so badly in this round was that he wasn't really attacking off the center line. I felt like he could have done more to create more angles, especially because Eubank Jr. was giving him that respect. Round 4 is when the intensity picks up, and when we start to see real combinations being thrown. I mark this as the start of the dogfight that is this match. But not only that, feints from both men. Both of these guys are trying to draw out reactions from each other. And Ben starts to rise to the occasion too, meeting Eubank Jr. with his combinations in the pocket. We see him starting to let his hands go a little bit more. And so that's a great adjustment I saw in round 5. He's not just laying in wait to get jabbed to death or to get hit with a big counter, because Eubank was banking a lot, and not to make a joke, on his counters the entire fight, and he was having a lot of success with them. Round 6 starts off the same. Both men are landing incredible shots, and Ben is starting to land with force. Eubank adjusts towards the later half of the round, and he gets behind his counters more, but I saw this as a really good round for Ben. So Ben's landing, he's using a little bit more volume, and yeah, he's landing big shots, but in those times of inactivity, when Ben kind of steps back, takes a second, pauses, for whatever reason, I noticed that Eubank doesn't. that was a divider in this fight, is that Eubank just never took his foot off the gas. And that's made cooler considering the fact that, yeah, Eubank had to make all these concessions. A smaller ring, he had to kill himself to get down to the weight class. And sure, yeah, like I said, I think there was a component of who wants it more, but I also got the vibe that at a certain point, Eubank just had more in the tank when he was on E, if that makes any sense. Round 7, the intensity ramps up further, but this is where I also feel that Eubank Jr. really finds his range and his pace. He's starting to pick Ben apart. Ben also doesn't do himself any favors, and he's not been level changing or moving as much as he did earlier in the fight. Now, I don't know if, again, this is because he feels like he can rely more on the volume, or again, if his gas tank is starting to deplete at this point. All I know is what I was watching, and he wasn't as mobile. It could also be that he was an easier target for Eubank to establish his offense on. Round 8, Ben comes out way more aggressive. This is where he kind of has a bump. Eubank does clip him, and Ben just looks like he has nothing left in the tank. That was a major moment in the round, despite the momentum going back and forth in certain points.
And then Ben really just digging deep to fire back, trying to just match Eubank. But
Round 9, Ben comes back and stings Eubank Jr. early. Eubank responds with tremendous pressure of his own, or should I say, stupendous pressure of his own, but Ben will not be denied, swinging back and landing. I don't ever question that Ben had that dog in him. I think it's also the fact that, yeah, Ben at certain points, his gas tank seemed to deplete. And again, I've never been in there, so I don't know if it's a gas tank thing or if it's a willpower thing or if it's a combination of the two. But from what I can see, Eubank was just pressuring. Ben was trying his best to hang in there, but it looked like he maybe just didn't have enough. And while he wasn't ever going to give up, it didn't look like he had the tools at his disposal that Eubank did cardio-wise. Both men are throwing bombs, trying to get the other out of there. I like the adjustment that Eubank makes in round 10, though. He starts digging in with body shots, too, and that's another big thing, is that Eubank was fighting a lot grittier. I don't know how with some of these shots, neither man was going down. Ben was also landing some huge hooks over the top, which is also going to naturally deplete his gas tank a little bit more. Eubank's also leaning on Ben, using the ropes to punish him to the body. I mean, some of those shots, man, ugh, it makes you shudder just looking at him. Round 11 and 12, I call these two the dog rounds. Both guys are just landing constantly and hard, and neither man is willing to go down. But Eubank Jr. just kind of lands more and outdogs Ben to a certain extent. Round 12, the ultimate round. Who wants it more? Eubank Jr. just lands the heavier shots and takes control of the fight late. In my personal opinion, justifiably winning that. I know they have a rematch clause. I would absolutely love to see this fight again. And personally, I think the key to the second one, we've seen that Ben can hang in there with Eubank. We've seen that both men can take a shot off the other. I think Ben just needs to come back with better cardio. I think he needs to be able to keep up that head movement that he was utilizing earlier in the fight. I think this is a completely different fight if he's as mobile as he was in the first and second round. I think letting Eubank wear on him and wear him down with body shots and with that jab and with those combinations he was landing, he has a beautiful uppercut at some point in the fight, I think really slowed him down and took away one of his best tools, which is his explosiveness. Those are my prescriptions for Ben coming into the rematch. I pray to God we see another one of these because I watched this live and my goodness, was it a fun fight. Alrighty guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown. I hope my sultry voice was good enough on the voiceover. I love you guys. And let me know if you kind of prefer this new way of doing things. And let me know what you thought about the fight in the comment section down below. Until next time, I'll see you guys.